the call come around and jumped on. I'm like depressed, can't figure out what we need to do. A lot of nonprofits doing other things. And one of the guys went, I'm like, okay, this call's about answers. What do we do? And one of the guys went, Bill, you said it. I was like, what do I say? I say crazy shit all the time. What do I say? We have to sue them. Men aren't suing.
That's what it is.
And I went, what? And we looked at all the nonprofits over the last month, Bill, all the men's rights activists, all the men's rights nonprofits globally. Mm-hmm. Nobody's suing. And I'm like, it can't be that damn easy. When it is, the National Organization of Women and all their affiliates and all the lawsuits that are connected with women's rights, there's around 500. And they've all won. They were all wins. There's only 2 for men. And those are recent. Yeah. Only 2. 2. And I'm like, holy shit, that's our model. So we built the model. We have 2 primary attack lanes. One is to wage lawfare for fathers and children, to sue the courts. And I often say this, I make no bones about it. It's to sue them civilly into abject poverty. And if there's enough through civil proceedings, subpoenas and everything else, we have enough to form a criminal suit, we'll file criminally against the attorney, officer of the court, or the judge.
The judge, right.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of people when talking about suing a judge, like, oh, you'll never sue a judge. You can't get their judicial immunity removed. What idiot told you that? Yeah. That's a damn lie. Then it hit me. I'm working against a PSYOP. That's crazy, isn't it? People are being told a lie. They believe. Remember, lie go around the earth 4 times before the truth gets out of bed.
Right.
People have been told this lie for a long time. I was like, no. There are judges that on the sly will call me up, like, you're doing the right thing, don't stop. One's still sitting. You're doing the right thing, don't stop, doing the right thing. And I asked him, I was like, judges get their immunity removed? He goes, oh, yeah. A judge lives in fear of getting immunity revoked, but also lives in fear that their prior ruling will get challenged, and now it's a win.
Yeah.
It reflects poorly upon their record.
That's when you appeal.
Yeah. Okay. So I looked into appeals. So every father listening to this, understand, if you appeal your divorce case, there's over a 90% loss rate. So what's the solution? Take it out of family court. Go civilly or criminally. You have to take it out of family court. I keep telling fathers all the time, take it out of family court. I was talking with Jim Sisko. Okay, he's a Mersog, well-known, very famous. Judge Mann ruled against him, violated numerous federal laws, numerous constitutional rights violations. He got promoted. He sits now at the Court of Appeals in Virginia. I'm like, he has a mental disorder. How in the hell? So I did a test. I said, and this is why we're still building everything. I did a test. There's a way you can file a complaint against a judge, and there's supposed to be a judicial review body to review the complaint and investigate it. 0. And I did it intentionally. I provided minimal information on the complaint to do nothing more, to start the investigation, to see if I would get one of the judicial investigators to call me and sit down with me. I had all the evidence lined up.
Right.
Not one phone call, not one email, nothing. And they sent me a nice letter saying, oh, if you feel you're wrong, you can appeal it. I'm like, with a 90% loss rate, you want me to appeal it? That's when it hit me, and I started sniffing around. They don't hold, they, being legal professionals, do not hold their own accountable. They don't police their own. Yeah. Okay, so what's the solution? And I did another podcast with attorneys. You know, they said, what's your answer? I said, all the Georgia bar, every state bar needs to go away. It needs to be absolutely, totally dissolved, go away. These judicial and attorney review boards that receive these complaints needs to be dissolved. Private body of citizens, private citizens, not affiliated or connected with a political group or the judge. Between 5 to 7 citizens needs to be formed. A private group of citizens with legal oversight. You need legal oversight. So in case they're like, hey, we want to do this, you can't. It's against the law. You can't do that. Right. That's when you get reform. That's when you get fixes. That's when you get judges put in a federal penitentiary. That's when you get judges defrocked and removed from the bench. Can
we silent that? Because I don't want it to keep getting on the...
Yeah, I'll take it off. But that's where you get, so here in Atlanta recently, it hit all the news. We had a magistrate judge, the highest paying judge in Georgia, behaved badly with a law enforcement officer. She got removed. That's the wrong question. The judicial regulatory body stepped in and removed her from the bench. That's the wrong question. The proper question is, how long has she been doing this and more and not been adjudicated against? People don't do this unless it's repeated behavior that's been rewarded or ignored. Yeah. So she has propensity. Yeah. How can that go? She did that like, I dare you to arrest me. I dare you to touch me. I'm not doing that. A real big attitude. I'm like, what? She's too confident in it. She's done it before. And got away with it. Yeah. That's the problem. Okay. We can't trust the FBI anymore. Can't trust the Secret Service anymore. We can't trust our own federal agencies that have the sole mission to guard us against these corrupt legislators. So we can't trust them anymore. So how do we fix this country? We have to get back control of the courts. So I looked at it as a tactician. If I'm attacking an enemy, where is he the strongest? You don't attack there. You attack where they're the weakest and the most exposed. Where are the courts the weakest and most exposed? Family court and child custody. That's where they have gone out of their way to violate the most rights against not acting in best interest of the child. Not acting in best interest of the child.
Yeah.
You start putting those judges in federal penitentiaries. You start getting attorneys get their law degrees revoked and get them banned from practicing law in the country. You start putting law enforcement officers, I'm sorry to say this, I used to be a Leo, but you guys have violated laws too. Put them in prison. Guess what's going to happen? That's going to, it's called a ripple effect. You can look it up as a physics theorem. Essentially, it ripples. Where does it go? Now it goes into civil and criminal courts. Now it bleeds over into the legislative and executive branches.
Yeah.
See where the power of this goes? Yeah. You have to start in the courts, and you have to start with family court child custody.
So what are the likelihood of making that happen?
Very good. Very good, actually. We're right now in conversations with a couple of law firms. Great transition, by the way. Great segue. So we talked about our two swim lanes earlier. One's the lawfare lane. The other one's the domestic violence shelter lane. Right now, we've finished, it's over a 100-page document of a litigation strategy document to sue the state of Georgia, essentially as close to poverty as we can. There's no DV shelters in the state of Georgia. They've gone since 1972. I haven't even tried to start one. I have if you look on my Twitter feed, I've got Georgia representatives and Congress people now start paying attention like, oh, shit. Oh, my God. This guy's making a lot of freaking noise. And here's why. There's laws on the book that says, hey, state of Georgia, you can't do this. Here's a complaint. Well, you never asked. Take it off the table. That's not a legal argument. I won't hear it in my court. Here's why. There's a case law behind that. Oops. So we got state of Georgia by the short and curlies. Here's how much we're asking for. $20 million in emergency injunctive relief. Why is that important? One, it helps the DV shelter get up, but also helps fight the battle. Because civil lawsuits against the state of Georgia, you can plan on about a 5-year battle. Okay, they're going to want to capitulate. They're going to want to settle. No. I need case law. And I've told the attorneys this. We're going to battle this all the way to jury. And they're like, oh, dude, that's a long fight. I'm like, I don't care. Because once we file, it'll spread globally. We've started. And now I've got professional firms stepped up. I've got national desk producers with the mainstream media outlets stepped up. It's like, you file. We'll put this on the national desk and it'll be carried by every affiliate in the country. I've got professional consulting and PR firms that have stepped up. We'll help you. Get it started. We'll volunteer. Experts in their field, slobbering at the bit to help. Like, get a firm to champion, get a firm to file. I've had law firms review litigation summary document. They're like, okay, we wouldn't necessarily follow this strategy. We understand why you built it, why it follows this strategy. Excellent document. Excellent document. I'm like, wow. Law firms reviewed it. Excellent document. People in the field who've supported the lawsuits, same comment and feedback. I'm like, okay, all right. So we're on the right track. We did the right thing. We did the right research. But through doing this, we've developed other lawsuits against the state of Georgia. And here's why $20 million emergency injunctive relief is so important. I've talked to House members. I've talked to State House and State Senate members. Here's what they told me. Good luck, Bill. It's not in the budget for this year, not in the budget for next year. If it does get in the budget, and I can sneak it in somewhere, by the time it hits the House floor, the feminists, the neo-Marxists, the Marxists here in Georgia, communists, will vote against it and won't see the light of day. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. I now know we have to sue the state of Georgia. You can't bankrupt the state, but I say that. You can only send them into default. The federal government will step in and save them. Now, to bankrupt the state of Georgia, we're talking like billions of dollars. The state of Georgia has great GDP. Okay, $20 million injunctive relief. The judge signs that, passes it over to the governor and state legislature and says, here, pay. They have to. They don't have a choice now. They have to dig through the budget, find $20 million within 90 or 120 days, whatever the judge says you have to find. And they have to pay us. Boom, transfer the money into our account.